that little chat with a neighbor or a stranger at the coffee shop, sometimes it feels like the biggest challenge of the entire day. I mean, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? Sorry, closed today. You know English. You're a smart, capable person. But the second you need to say something simple, boom, your brain just slams the door shut. It's such a universal feeling. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack here, why that happens, and more importantly, how we can flip that sign back to open. So let's get right into it. The small talk fear. I mean, why does something so seemingly simple feel so difficult? Let's figure that out. Because understanding the feeling, that's the first step to beating it. Okay, so why do we freeze up? It's not just one thing, right? It's a whole cocktail of fears. Suddenly, you're not just a person, you're on stage. It feels like a public performance. And oh, the fear of that awkward silence, it's brutal. We judge ourselves so quickly. I absolutely love this line from the source material. It can feel like you're a decorative plant in a lift. You're just there, trying to look pleasant. And of course, on top of all that, we're worried about our grammar. And this really gets to the heart of it. We tell ourselves, oh, I'm just worried about my grammar mistakes. But look at this. The real fear, the one that's way bigger, is just feeling awkward. It's the social anxiety, the potential for silence, the self-judgment. That's the stuff that actually scares us. All right, this next part is maybe the most important mindset shift in this whole explainer. What if I told you the real problem isn't you? Yeah, we all assume we're the one who's broken, but what if the problem is something else completely? Just look at this. On one side, you have what we think the problem is. I'm just bad at this. I'm awkward. But on the other side, what it really is, it's just too much tension for a tiny moment. That's it. It's not a personality flaw. It's not about you being bad at something. It's about the pressure of the situation. And you know what? A situation is something you can manage. So, if the problem is too much tension, then what's the solution? Well, it's about releasing that tension. It's about changing our goal. And that brings us to the real secret here. We need to aim for being at ease. So what does at ease even mean? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. You're relaxed, you're comfortable, you're not fighting the moment or trying to be super impressive. The whole game changes the second you stop treating small talk like a test you have to ace and start treating it as just a moment to be in. And this is the absolute key right here. Your goal is not to sound like a genius. It's not to be witty or brilliant. Your goal is just to make the moment feel easier. And notice that's for yourself and for the other person. It's a two-way street. And something kind of magical happens when you focus on making them feel comfortable. Your own pressure just melts away. It stops being a performance and starts being an act of kindness. Okay, so mindset shift, check. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the how-to. We're going to walk through the practical steps for starting, continuing, and yes, even ending a conversation. We can think of any conversation as having a simple life cycle, right? 3 basic parts. First, starting it. Second, keeping it going. And third, and this is just as important, ending it politely. No magic formulas needed, just a few really simple techniques. All right, step 1, starting simply. Honestly, the easiest way to do this is to just start with what's already there. You do not need a brilliant, witty opening line. Seriously, just comment on something you're both experiencing. The weather, this ridiculously long line, the situation you're in, or my personal favorite, a dog with amazing hair. It takes all the pressure off trying to invent something brilliant out of thin air. But you know, what you say is only half the battle. How you say it matters just as much. You have to be approachable. That just means being easy to talk to, not cold or closed off. A simple smile, a warm tone of voice. That's the stuff that actually invites someone into a conversation. It's a signal that says, hey, I'm open. Okay, you're in. You started the chat. Now, how do you keep it from dying a slow, painful death? This right here is one of the most powerful tools you have. On the left, we've got the conversation killers. These are closed questions. Did you have a good weekend? Yes. And crickets. The conversation is dead. But on the right, the conversation starters. These are open questions. What was the best part of your weekend? See the difference? That question asks for a story. It gives the other person something to actually talk about. And here's the thing, those open questions work 1,000 times better when you're actually genuinely curious. This isn't about firing off a list of questions like you're conducting an interview. It's about listening, really listening to their answers. Notice little details, and then ask small follow-up questions about what they just said. It shows you're actually paying attention, not just planning your next sentence. This whole idea of following up on something, that's basically the engine that keeps a conversation running. Think of it like a game of catch. The other person says something. They toss you a ball. Your job is to catch it and gently toss it back with a follow-up question. You're not letting the topic just fall to the ground. That simple back and forth, that's what a conversation is. But let's be real. Sometimes, no matter what you do, things just get weird, right? You say something, there's a weird pause, and your brain just starts screaming, abort, abort. This quote is the absolute best advice for that moment. Just breathe. A weird moment is not the end of the world. It's not a failure. It's just a weird moment. It's okay. Some moments are allowed to be awkward. And that brings us to our final step, the graceful exit. Seriously, knowing how to end a conversation politely is a legitimate superpower. Having a few simple, warm phrases ready to go means you can end things on a high note, leaving everyone feeling good. And, it saves you from being that person who gets trapped talking by their car for 27 minutes. So we've gone through all these little tricks and mindset shifts, but why does any of it really matter? Well, because this whole small talk thing is about so much more than just not feeling awkward in an elevator. And this is maybe the most important takeaway of all. Small talk isn't actually small. Think about it. It's the front door to real connection. It's the little spark that can lead to a friendship, a new idea, or just a moment of feeling seen. These tiny little conversations, they're the threads that weave our daily lives together and make the world feel just a little bit warmer. And look, if you forget everything else, please remember this. It is okay to be a little bit awkward. A slightly awkward human is always, always better than a perfect robot. Your little quirks, your imperfect phrasing, that's what makes you real. That's what people actually connect with. So I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. Now that you have this new perspective, now that you know the goal isn't to be brilliant, it's just to connect, what small connection will you make today?